book besties, welcome back to the channel, or welcome if you're new. My name is Kyan and this is Kyan is Booked. It is a tad bit late, but better late than never. This is a Mafia Romance Readathon wrap up for 2025. We had a wonderful time. I had so much fun hosting reading sprints and making new friends, and basically just being able to read Mafia books for 10 days was so much fun. So I thought I'd do a really quick wrap up, just shout out to my little bingo board. I did get blackout, and then toss up my ending totals for my points, and then I got head boss, obviously, head B, if you will. Don't know why I have, I just finished a book haul, so my scissors were sitting on top of all of my notes over here. So let's go ahead and dive into, first there's a hair back here and it's really bothering me. Okay. So let's go ahead and dive into, I have 10 books that I read in 10 days. So it's not bad, like a book a day. I'll definitely take it. And I was also too working, doing the things and the stuff. So the first two I want to talk about are Yakuza Lover by Nozomi Mino. And so I read volume 1 and I read volume 1 and read volume 2. So I read the first two volumes of this series, and this follows Yuri and Toshimi Oya. He's the underboss of the Yakuza syndicate, and he saves her in the first volume from an incident with somebody at one of the parties, because he was there to distribute some of his product and talk to somebody about some situations that were happening. And he comes in, able to kind of like step into the situation with them. And she's like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. And obviously age gap because he's a little bit older than she is. But she's definitely taken with him. But she does realize pretty early on that he is a bad boy. And she's not necessarily sure that she's willing or like wanting to get into something with him. But she can't stay away, obviously. And that's how she kind of ends up like going to thank him for saving her. And he's like, listen, girl, you come here again and I'm going to take it as a sign that you want to be with me because I'm wildly attracted to you, but I understand that like you're young and you might not feel the same way. And I was like, but anyways, as you can probably guess, she can't stay away from him. So it is definitely about her like wanting to be good enough for him, but also to at the same time like him wanting to protect her. But he is in a violent world and he does have enemies. So that's kind of where I left them, in a situation of she's like, I'm not sure I can do this. And he's like, I completely understand, but like you messed up because like I already care for you and I'm not letting you go that easily. So definitely enjoyed it. Gave them both 4 stars. I have ordered the next 6, I think, off of Pango. Somebody had them up and I'm pretty excited about it. Next up, I read Painted Scars, and this is the first book in the Perfectly Imperfect series, and I have been meaning to read this series for absolutely ever, and I love the fact that I got to start it. So this follows Roman and Nina, and Roman is head of the Bratva, and Nina is an artist, and she's just kind of out there like living her life, doing her thing, things and the stuff. And it turns out that her dad has stolen a lot of money from Roman. He's been working on the books, and somebody catches the fact that a lot of money has been moved and it hasn't been replaced. And so her dad calls her in and was like, hey, I need your help. This man's gonna kill me if you don't marry him. Little does she know that Roman already knows who the daughter is and was like, I can leverage this situation because he is in his own situation. He was in a really horrible accident. And so right now he's struggling to walk, and he is struggling to get like his mobility back, and they're not really sure what's going to happen. And a lot of people see him as weak because he's not able to walk right now. And so kind of to secure his power, a power move is to arrange a marriage, right? So he talks to Nina and he's like, listen, move in here. Like, I'll buy you all the things you need for your art. I won't get in your way. Blah, blah, blah. We'll be seen together. You'll be like, we will be married. It'll be 6 months, just 6 months, right? But in any arranged marriage, we know that they eventually start to fall for each other. And it was just so cute because Nina at first is just like, oh my God, this is a prison sentence. But then she's like, actually kind of like being here. And she starts to get to know his staff and get to know the guards, and goes down to the kitchen and starts like cooking with the cook. And they start to build like a really beautiful relationship too. And obviously there's going to be some things and some stuff that she kind of has to get used to. I also too really love like that. One of my favorite scenes in this book is she has a exhibit for her art. And he goes and he's like so proud of her and like can't like help but like talk her up and all of these, like, it was so cute. And like at that point in time, like he knows he has feelings for her, but he doesn't know how she feels quite yet. So he's like, we know he's fallen, but we're not really sure what's going on with her, and she's not really sure what's going on either. But like they're starting to form this like really beautiful relationship, and it was just so cute, like how supportive he was of her. And yeah, so I just really loved that. So this is disabled hero, age gap, opposites attract, and then obviously we have a possessive / jealous hero. Then I read Broken Whispers, which is book 2 in this series, and this follows Bianca and Michael. And Michael is Roman's enforcer, and he is more so referred to as a beast. Like he was kidnapped and tortured at a very young age because of some decisions that his dad made, and the person who tortured him was Roman's dad, which is why now Roman has taken over in the only way you can in like the mafia world. So he wears an eye patch because there's a lot of scarring and issues with his eye, and he can see out of his left eye, but the problem is it blurs the vision in his right eye, so he wears an eye patch so he can have the solid vision. And he has secretly been in love with Bianca for a pretty solid amount of time because she is a principal ballerina, and he's been watching her dance for years now. And the opportunity comes up because she's the daughter of the rival family, and they've been at war, and in order to stop the war, what do? You marry people. So Bianca's up for grabs, and Michael's like, yeah, sure, I'll marry her. Not letting anybody know he's like straight up obsessed with this woman, right? And so Bianca's like, I'm not gonna marry some random man, like you can't make me. And her dad's like, all right, cool, like I'll just marry off your younger sister. And Bianca's like, fine, I'll do it, because there's not anything that Bianca won't do for her younger sister. It's not anything she won't do for specific members of her family. She just can't stand her father for good reason. So fast forward, they get married, and Bianca realizes that obviously there's so much more than like the surface of everything, because people are like absolutely like befumbled and confused as to why this beast of a man is marrying this absolutely beautiful woman. So definitely Beauty and the Beast vibes here. But what people don't realize is that she's mute because she was in an accident when she was young and they had to intubate her, but the person who did it messed up and it damaged her vocal cords. So she only speaks in broken whispers. I love their story. I love their dynamic. I love absolutely just how like she falls pretty early on for him, and it takes him a little bit to get there, but she never gives up, and she never lets him believe like he's anything less than deserving of the love that she is willing to give. And like the building of the relationship is so beautiful. And I just really loved like how adorable they were together. So definite 5 stars for this one. I gave the other one 5 stars as well. This is a 5-star series for me so far, but we'll dive into the rest of them in a second. But that's Broken Whispers, so that's book 2. And then I dove straight into Hidden Truths, which is book 3 in this series. And this follows Sergey and Angelina. So Sergey is Roman's half-brother, but he's crazy. But he's also crazy because he was a secret operative, and he's done a lot of things in his life and started at a very early age, essentially as a child assassin, and has seen horrific things and is struggling with undiagnosed PTSD, if I had to guess. And so he has episodes where like in his mind everything that's happening is real and like he's being attacked, but like he's not being attacked in real life, and it's all his mind kind of playing tricks on him. So he is going to intercept a I don't know if it's a drug transport. I'm not sure. He's going to intercept a transport, and they find out that there's going to be a woman on board that is going to be sold. And Sergey is willing to do a lot of things, but like selling women is like where he kind of draws the line. So he finds Angelina like half-starved, fighting for her life in this truck, and he takes her and brings her to the house and refuses to let anybody else care for her. We slowly realize like she's the daughter of one of the rival groups, but the problem is her dad is dead, and now the enemy of both of them is trying to marry her so that he can unite the groups and then take on the Bratva. And Angelina's like, yeah, no, like, I'm out of here because I'm not gonna let some like dusty man tell me what I'm gonna do, and he's not gonna force me into it. And he's a pretty like horrific human being, so definitely gonna abuse her, definitely gonna hurt her type situation. So I am obsessed with this. I love Sergei. I love how, and this is like definitely the women in the series do a really good job of understanding the struggle, right? So Angelina sees early off that Sergei is really struggling, and rather than like giving him a wide berth or anything like that, she like goes straight into the problem and tries to help him fix it. And a lot of people are like, oh no, you don't want to do that, like he'll attack you, blah blah blah, and all this kind of stuff. And she's like, he's never attacked me. Like, I don't know about you, but like, I don't have this kind of problems. So I definitely really enjoyed like their dynamic, and I really love Sergei. Like, he's absolutely crazy, but like, he'll be like, all right, girl, like, I'll catch you on the other side. And she's like terrified for his safety. And then like 5 minutes later, all the bodies are dropped and he's got like whatever he needs. And he's like, yep, I'm back. So he's crazy, he gets stuff done, and he's absolutely obsessed with her. So this is definitely age gap, broken hero, the who did this to you vibe, but also like the she saves him vibe at the same time. So I really like the dynamic of like him being a who did this to you and her being like, I'm not gonna let you fight your demons on your own. So definitely love them. They're definitely my front runners so far, but it's also so hard to pick because like, y'all know I love a Beauty and the Beast retelling. So just saying. Then I read My Dark Fairy Tale by Gianna Darling. This follows Guinevere and Rafa, and he's the head of an Italian portion of the Mafia, and she is young, naive. He hits her with her car. She ends up really sick. He houses her and helps her get on her feet again. She's lying to her parents, like she told them she's going to Paris and she's going to Italy instead because her dad has always been like, don't go there, don't go there, don't go there. But in her soul, like she's always been called back to Italy. Rafa's really struggling because like he's never really let a woman come in the way of like his business and like what he has going on. And he's really, really concerned about, you know, like kind of her impact on like his business overall. So I really had a great time with this. I absolutely loved like every second of it. I have to remind myself that she's young, so the cliffhanger makes a lot of sense, even though like she knew, she didn't necessarily know. And two, it's like really hard for me to decide like how I like 100% feel about this because I need the other half. Like there's another half that's coming out in October, and I need to understand like, yeah, she's young, but like, does she swerve and make the right decision? Is kind of where I'm at with it all. So I will be really excited in October to hopefully report back to you that this is yet another 5-star obsessive duet for me from Gianna Darling, because you guys all know that the Anti-Heroes in Love duet is my absolute pinnacle from her. I don't think that they're going to be Dante and Elena. I hate to break it to all of you, but I am really enjoying it. I know that they've mentioned Dante, so I'm wondering if he's going to show up in the second book, but I will very much be interested to see what Guinevere does. And then also too, I'm wondering, did her dad have something to do with the Mafia, and that's why he doesn't want her going back to Italy? I don't know. It's just a thought that I had when I was writing my notes down for this. Then I finally read A Cora Riley. So I read Twisted Loyalties. This follows Fabiano and Leona, and I gave this one 4 stars. I really enjoyed this. So this is book 1 in the Kimura Chronicles. I have, like I said, never read A Cora Riley, so I was really like excited to kind of jump into this. And essentially he's the second in command, or like what I would say the enforcer for the Kimura group is, and he follows Ren. I really hope I'm saying his name right. I don't know. He's crazy. I love him. But essentially Fabiano gets kicked out of his version of the Mafia because his dad remarries and the second wife has sons, and he's tainted because his mom was crazy, whatever. So he gets booted out and he hooks up with the crew that he's with now, and they take back Las Vegas. Leona moves to Las Vegas because that's where her dad lives, and her mom is doing a lot of drugs, rode hard, put away wet type situation. And she's kind of like, I need a place to land. I need to start saving money so I can go to school, because she has this vision that she's going to be able to rebuild her life. Problem is, dad's still gambling, which is the reason why mom left him in the first place. So she ends up in a really bad situation with her, with her dad, and he's actually in debt to Fabiano and Fabiano's boss. So she meets him because she's working at the bar where they host cage fights. And from there, it's forbidden. They're not supposed to be together because Fabiano has sworn an oath and no woman is allowed to get in the way of that. And that is obviously something that comes to a head at the end of the book. So I was very interested to see how that was going to happen. I really enjoyed them. Forbidden, angsty, like she knows that this is a horrible idea, but like she literally can't help herself. And like, girl, I hear ya. I hear ya. It's tough out there in those streets. So I definitely enjoyed this one. It was a fun introduction. I realized though in the beginning of the book that Fabiano's sisters get their books in a series before this. So I may or may not go back and read it. I'm not sure. But I'll keep you updated. Then I read Twisted Emotions because it was one of the host pick. And I really enjoyed it. I gave it 4 stars. This follows Nino and Chiara. So once again, arranged marriage to unite the families. And Chiara is a disgraced daughter because her dad ended up being a traitor. And so her aunt and uncle can't wait to get rid of her and just like, yep, cool, here you go. And Chiara's like, honestly, it's a new beginning. Like, maybe this will be good for me. This will get me away from the uncle who pays a little too much attention to me type situation. And all I'm going to say is the presenting of the sheets is still a thing that like her family is like really big on, but the presentation of the sheets for this one was absolutely insane. It was the minute I realized that Nino was a hero worth dying for. He's unhinged. He definitely has a crazy button or two, but my goodness, what a man. What a man. That's all I'm going to say. I can't say too much more. Obviously, Chiara's a little worried because she's entering into a new family and she doesn't understand what the dynamic's going to be. And, you know, she's had really bad interactions with men. And so she's nervous to be entering into a family of like all men at this point, because this is only the first brother that's going to be like having a female. So it's a very interesting dynamic and I really enjoyed it. I am interested to continue the series. I don't know when I will. But it was, I don't know, it's really nice to kind of like read an OG in the Mafia world, because I hadn't done that yet. So love that for me. Then I read Brutal Vows in the Queens of Monsters series. This is book 4. I skipped book 3, went to book 4, because I needed the Irish Mafia trope. And I was like, oh, this one will fit perfectly. I've been trying to finish the series. So this follows Spider and Raina. So Spider's an Irish mob, and he's going to be married off to Raina's niece. And Raina's niece is like, over my dead body, you will. But Raina's brother is absolutely insane and doesn't know how to run anything. And honestly, it's just like, yeah, of course my daughter will marry you, blah, 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 right? But the problem is like Spider doesn't want to marry this 18-year-old. He wants to marry Raina because he is obsessed and will not stop thinking of this woman from like day one. But neither can really get out of the contract. So they're like, okay, we're just going to go ahead, blah, blah, blah. Things happen. Stuff goes down. They end up together. And I just am obsessed with them. Like, I want to go back and read this scene where they're together for the first time again, because like, it's just like, it's the things of fantasies that like you think about, like the way that you want a man to want you for exactly who you are. Like, she's mean. He calls her Viper. He argues with her all the time. And he's just like, God, what a woman. And like, I was obsessed with it. And like, he never asked her to change. He just was like, man, I love, like literally moments where he's just like, ugh, I love when you yell at me like that. Like, it just, he was perfect for her. But also too, like, she has a reputation because she like survived a horrific arranged marriage of her own. Like, she is an absolute survivor. And there comes a point where like, he's supportive of her. You can't tell me anything about them. Like, I'm obsessed with their relationship and I'm obsessed with him and I'm obsessed with the way that he's obsessed with her. And if you haven't read Brutal Vows, like, you've got to. Like, I'm not even joking with you guys. Like, it was so good. I was sucked into it. Girl power all the way. I loved that Raina like did not shrink herself for him. And he loved her for it, like was obsessed obsessed with her for it. And I just, 5 stars all around. I can't say like anything more amazing about this couple and about Spider, because he was just, chef's kiss. And then I ended with Ruined Secrets, which is a 5-star, which is book 5, 4. Book 4 in the Perfectly Imperfect series. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, book 4 in the Perfectly Imperfect series. So Isabella's grandfather's head of this portion of the Bratva, and he knows that he's dying. So he says to Luca, who he wants to take over, you have to marry my granddaughter. Yeah. He knows that Isabella's in love with Luca. It's a huge age gap. He's like in her 30s and she's like 18, 19. And he's like, I don't think that's a great idea. Like, all this kind of stuff, right? And he's like, no, like, you need her because if you're going to unite the family and like have people stand by you, like, she's your best bet, blah, 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 right? So they end up married. He can't get past the age gap. Like, this man's in his head 24/7. Like, I cannot be attracted to her. Like, I know she's an adult and she's so attractive, and by God, she's my wife, and like, I want her, but like, I have to wait till she's 21. Like, I have to. This man is fighting for his life in his inner monologue. And like, he is properly obsessed with his new wife and she's properly obsessed with him, but he cannot get past his own brain to like realize that like she's in love with him and has been for years. So it's a very interesting dynamic, especially when like an accident happens and like she has to support him and remind him of things and like essentially run things from the background until he's able to like step back into everything and like take it over. And when he does get to the point that he's able to like kind of come back to himself, he realizes like how incredibly intelligent and like what an asset she is to him. And it's like, wow, like if I wasn't obsessed with you already, like I'm obsessed now. So I loved it. 5 freaking stars. We love a man who is supportive of an intelligent woman and a smart woman and like backs her and is obsessed with her. Like, one thing I can say about the men in the Perfectly Imperfect series is like, those are their women and they are in love with them. And they will go to the ends of the earth so that they know, why did I say earths? There's only one earth. They will go to the ends of the earth to let these women and everybody else know that like they ride or die. So that was the end of my Mafia Romance Readathon wrap up. I am so happy that I read these 10 books. I'm so happy I dove into a series that I've been thinking about for a while now. And let me down in the comment box how you ended up. Were you a Dawn? Were you an Enforcer? Let me know where you ended up if you read some books that you were like absolutely obsessed with. Thank you so much for coming along with us on this adventure. I had a great time being a co-host and hosting lives and meeting all of you. So thank you so much for joining us. And as always, book besties, I'll catch you in the next video. Bye.